animals have had plenty of time to evolve and have become an extraordinary example of what nature has to offer. But sometimes, things just get really weird. Like how some penguins can shoot their feces out like they're using a water gun, or how flatworms wrestle to mate. And the most hardcore of them all is how tiny little Japanese honeybees kill Asian hornets. But before we get into the video, make sure you like the video, or you might just get stung by an Asian hornet. Here are 15 animal behaviors you've never seen before. It can't be easy in the deer world where food is already cicade and every prey around has the 20/20 vision. That's why the horned lizard has to be prepared at all times. They're not the best at running, so they try to camouflage themselves. However, when that doesn't work either, they resort to one last defense, shooting blood right out of their eyes like lasers. Sometimes, the blood goes right into their predator's mouth, which makes them question their meal at all. Humans have the flight or fight response, but these goats only have one option: faints. Myotonic goats have a mutation in them called the myotonia congenita, which makes the muscles essentially freeze up when they're threatened even slightly. If you were to put a jump scare in front of the goats, they'll all freeze and fall to the ground as if they were turned to stone. But don't worry, it's not painful or anything. It's just their muscles contracting for an extended period of time.
Before we move on, we've got a speed challenge for you. If you subscribe to Facts Junkie and hit the bell icon in the next 5 seconds, you'll win 10 years of incredible luck. Give it a shot. It actually works.
These crabs will be by your side no matter what. They're not even an inch in size, but they still manage to cheer us up. They're also called pom-pom crabs because of the tiny anemones that they have on their claws. These anemones provide them with protection so that no one messes with them, and the crabs provide them with transportation, which in turn provides them with more chances of finding food. So this mutual relationship keeps both of the animals' needs in check and makes for a cute look too. The pistol shrimp has the word pistol in its name for a reason. This 2-inch shrimp basically stuns its victims by snapping its claw. This single snap makes a sound so loud that it is louder than a gunshot. It's not caused by the snap itself, it's actually caused by the effect of the snap. It sets off a jet of water from the snap, which then breaks out at 60 miles per hour, making tiny bubbles with low pressure. When these bubbles collapse, the bang produces it louder than a jet engine. Having a drink or two to celebrate is tradition for a lot of humans. But ever since humans settled in the Caribbean islands, the monkeys caught this habit too. Researchers caught a ton of vervet monkeys who would steal some booze and get incredibly drunk. It seems fun and even hilarious at first, but they actually started to damage property. Sounds a lot like us. One animal that likes to party to the fullest are the lemurs. These little creatures are addicted to biting millipedes, not because they hate the insects, but because they spray a toxic secretion. The lemurs then rub this on their fur, and since the secretion acts as narcotics, they get to enjoy a few minutes of intoxication. Thankfully, the millipedes walk away unharmed, waiting to get chewed on by the next lemur. We all knew Perry the platypus was an agent, but we didn't know he had even more secrets hidden. Scientists were studying old platypus specimens and accidentally found out that they glow blue-green under UV lights. There are only about 2 other mammals that display this sort of biofluorescence. Scientists think that their green sheen might help reduce their visibility to predators as they hunt during the night, but there's not much proof. Parrotfish are one of the only fish that like to rest their eyes, but you can't do that on the ocean floor without getting eaten. That's why the parrotfish secretes a huge bubble of mucus to mask its scent so predators won't detect it. It also provides protection from parasitic isopods that like to gnaw on their exterior. These isopods feed on the blood of the fish and are called the mosquitoes of the sea. It takes up to an hour to create the cocoons, but that's just their bedtime routine. Some fish throw their eggs into the water to hatch. Some make nests, but no one is doing it like the jawfish. Known as the Mr. Moms, these fish keep the eggs in their mouth until they hatch, and they rarely need any assistance. They only spit out their babies when they need to clean up their mouth or brush their teeth. Talk about independence. The fishes in the deep sea portion of the ocean already have it rough, but the males have it even worse. The male anglerfish spend their whole life looking for the right fish, not because they're picky, but because the number of female anglerfish is very few. After the male anglerfish finds her, he decides to never let go. He bites her stomach and never lets go. Soon, their circulation systems fuse and become one fish. The male becomes a sack of gonads, and up to 8 males can join the female anglerfish. The bowerbird is a very pretty species. Their courtship display includes highly decorative nests. That means their nests are full of flowers, feathers, stone, and even discarded pieces of plastic. But they don't only focus on their own nests. They'll also keep an eye out for other nests. If their neighbors' nests are too pretty, they'll destroy them. Unlike humans, flatworms get to choose which one in the couple gets pregnant since they both have reproductive parts. But they can't just have an adult conversation about who gets pregnant, so they literally have a sort of fencing fight. Since the female role requires a lot more energy to make eggs and hatch them, the loser gets inseminated anywhere on the body. And the one that gets to take on the male role can just swim away. However, sometimes both of them get inseminated. This might be a little gross, so be careful if you're a little squeamish. We all know and love penguins, but one of their hidden talents is that they can literally shoot out their feces to twice the body length. One team of scientists calculated how much force would require that. They found out that their rectums generated so much pressure that they could fling their feces about 5 miles per hour and up to 53 inches. That's quite gross. But hey, animals are much grosser than this. Japanese native bees and hornets do not get along. If more than one Asian giant hornet gets into a beehive, it goes on a killing spree and kills about 20 insects per minute. But the Japanese honeybees are pretty smart and have an amazing strategy. They cluster around the hornet and vibrate so fast that the buzzing creates enough heat to cook the hornet to death. Tonight, we feast on our enemy's blood. There are many disguisers in the ocean, and one of them is this tiny isopod that is a taste for tongues. No pun intended. These sort of roly-poly creatures wriggle their way into a rose snapper's gills and suck their tongues dry of blood. Wait, there's more. Then these isopods become the tongue themselves. They help the fish grind the food against the teeth of the roof of their mouth, as if they didn't just eat its tongue. And if that wasn't enough, they mate right in the fish's mouth, which the female then uses as a home to raise her kids in. Mutualism at its best? Alright, comment below which of these animal behaviors blew your mind the most. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Facts Junkie, and we'll see you in the next one.